Ever try to do something in under 6 minutes? Anything, like say, grow a beard. I bet you can. At Sweet Pepper's Deli, you get quality food in under 6 minutes. Now how about that? Sweet Pepper's Deli, life is sweet.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Well, have you avoided the shower so far today? Well, if not, I guess it's a good thing, but we do need the rainfall, and that's one of the things we're going to be talking about on Mississippi Live Weather at 6. The latest look at the drought monitor, those rain chances for this evening, and our chief meteorologist Matt Lobhon joining us live in the field, walking us through that forecast, as well as a great cause that you can still go to. There is still time. We'll take a look at that here in 1 second, but Matt will be tracking what's left of those showers for our Thursday evening, and good news for our weekend. Drier conditions and cooler weather, just what exactly to expect. We'll have the latest look at that forecast, and tropics could become impactful. We're going to look through some of those long-range models and where the tropical developments will start to move into. Is it here in North Mississippi, or is it just in the general United States? We'll look at that in more detail in just a few moments. The first 12 highlighting a few of those showers sticking around by that 7 o'clock hour, 10 p.m., 68 degrees, and cooling off into the low 60s tomorrow morning with plenty of cooler air. Why? Well, northerly winds. But Matt, I know that you are live in Columbus right now. Are you feeling some of that cooler air? Is it feeling good outside right now?
Oh, it feels spectacular outside right now here in Columbus. I'm just outside of Sweet Pepper's Deli in Columbus. The reason is a celebrity wait night. If you want to consider me that celebrity here. But we do have a few other folks as well trying to raise money for St. Jude. The St. Jude Dream Home given away today, and excited for the fact that they were able to sell out all those tickets for that in the Tupelo area. But here at Sweet Peppers, they are going to be donating all of the tips tonight, including the tips coming from yours truly, that are generated to St. Jude as well. Aaron Sanders is the general manager here. Back in 2017, we did this as well, trying to raise money he's going to run the St. Jude Marathon. And yes, though might look relatively trim, running is not exactly my strong suit, but it is his. And so he and his daughter are both going to be running that marathon. And so they are part of the fundraising effort that we're doing down here this evening. So between now and 8 p.m., if you come on in, those tips will be donated to help St. Jude. And ultimately what that means, Gabe, is help end childhood cancer. But we are here along 45 in the Columbus area at Sweet Pepper's Deli. Come join us, have great food. Hopefully we'll have some decent conversation and try to end childhood cancer between now and 8 p.m. Gabe, want to send it back to you. And obviously, as you can see, the sky starting to clear behind me here in the friendly city. Just kind of a mix of clouds out there. Very picturesque look as I face back into the breeze. Looking beautiful. And most of those puffy cumulus clouds, not too terribly big. Looks like there's one over there to the east. What are you tracking there on Mississippi Live Weather Radar?
Well, there's a few showers, but I have a question for you real quick. I know that you were in West Point earlier today, traveling down 45 and then over on 82. I mean, just what exactly were you seeing this afternoon? Was it just some light showers, or did you get any rainfall at all?
I had some drizzle on my way down to West Point from the Tupelo area earlier on. Moderate rainfall for a moment, but that was about it. It was nice to clear off my windshield. But if I was talking about actually watering the lawn, we got a long ways to go, which is why, of course, the drought monitor and the expansion of that significant. I mean, I see that red up there in Tennessee. That's not very far from our house, is it?
Not at all. And one of the things that we're trying to take care of here in the coming weeks with what rainfall we do have. But Matt, thank you so much and have a great time this evening and get a lot of tips and make sure to just raise that money for St. Jude. But go see them. You still have time to do so. Hey, you'll do good. Just don't drop any of the plates. I hear that's something you need to worry about. But
absolutely.
Well, taking it back here in the Room to Room Weather Center, Matt kind of hinted at what we're talking about. The drought monitor came out today, and that latest outlook looks exceptionally worse from where we were at this time last week. As you can see, that level 3 drought now dipping in all across northwest Mississippi, as far east as Marshall County. Level 2 drought, though, that's where we saw the most significant expansion down to Grenada County, Calhoun County, Chickasaw County, and encompassing basically all of Lee County. Why do I emphasize Lee County? Well, Lee County actually went under a burn ban last week until October 19th. So expect more locations to do exactly that as that drought monitor continues to build. And he was hinting at that level 4 drought. That is not far at all from the Tennessee state line, Bolivar, Tennessee, and then Savannah, Tennessee, dipping down there towards Alcorn counties at level 3 drought. So that is what we're watching for the expansion heading southward into North Mississippi. This time next week, I hope I don't have to forecast it, but we're probably expecting that drought to expand once again and possibly some of that level 4 drought dipping in here to North Mississippi. But let's talk about percent of normal precipitation that we've gotten here recently, and I'm going to highlight a few locations. What we're getting is over here where it's yellow and orange. We're talking about a deficit. 27% of the past 30 days. In order to be around average is 100%. So the fact that we're 27% in Clay County, not exactly a good outlook. Lee County, I mentioned that burn ban already in place. 57%. Lafayette County, still about 82%. And we're getting closer to where it's been more of a moist past 30 days out there along I-55, as locations only have about 70 to 80%. So I mentioned that last week. It was the Highway 61 showers every single day. And where have we been above average? 121% in Clarksdale, 120% Shelby, 139% Cleveland. Let's go down to Hollandale. 240%. So that is helping the drought monitor with how much rainfall they've gotten out there. But the thing is, a lot of those showers are over a several day span. So that's why it's actually impactful to the drought monitor. Here on the east side of things, we do get showers. We had showers yesterday, and that did benefit the drought monitor, made a dent in it. But it's not exactly going to break the drought monitor because it's over one period of time. We need it over a progressive period of time, several periods of days, and that'll definitely make a dent on the drought monitor. Not the case, and unfortunately from here on out, after tonight, we're in a much drier state of mind. Mississippi Live Weather Radar showcases a few of those showers. I love the placement of that, and I know Matt does too, even if it's a few drops of rainfall. It's over there on the northwest side of Lee County where Casa de Labhan and Casa de Manor is at. So we're seeing that track through Saltillo right now, right across Highway 45, going from Guntown all the way to Saltillo, but not exactly a vast area. If we track that from the reds, I mean, we're talking about 5 miles, but hey, let's take glass half full. That's 5 miles of people that are getting some impactful rainfall, even a few of those isolated locations out around Baldwin. But this is just going to be that isolated development as some of that moisture wraps around. This is one that we are tracking over there towards Union County, now tracking more into Lee County. But again, it's very sporadic development, and that will continue to move in that southeast motion. I'm going to expand it out one time and put a track on that here real quick, because that is definitely the main batch that we are watching. So if we take that out, and I think a good speed is about 20 miles an hour. We're talking about Lake Piamingo, 614, Eggville, 625, Dorsey, 641, Fulton, 649, not impossible to reach Itawamba County, and Van Buren by about 702. Looking back on our home view, we can see that there are more isolated showers. This one out there towards Webster County. If I zoom in on that one, it's following the same pattern that we've been seeing with our storms up north, or should I say showers. No thunder at all. There's just no lightning with these. So as I expand things out and take it in that southeast motion, you can see that these storms are building more towards Clarkson, Bellefontaine, and on there towards the Mabin area. I'm going to take this one about 20 miles an hour as well. And as you can see, Fame 624, Clarkson 634, Cumberland 647, and Mabin by about 652. So that's where we sit here on Mississippi Live Weather Radar. Not exactly an active radar, but at least we're getting a few of those showers. Let's take it back on the wide view, and what you'll see right here is that the front has fully cleared, moving across parts of eastern Mississippi and well into Alabama as of this point. Now we're starting to get a whole different forecast, one that we've been eagerly waiting on, one that encompasses drier air and cooler air. I'm not going to put cold, but that's our forecast going forward, is dry and cool. And while that's beneficial for us and our weekend plans, not exactly beneficial for the drought monitor. But a cool feature right here, and we have what's called the surface low all the way up north in Maine, but you're kind of getting that cyclonic, that counterclockwise rotation developing right here. And what you have right here is a high level low, or an upper level low that's developing. And that's where we're getting some of that wraparound moisture. As that forms along this surface front, we're starting to get some of that moisture wrapping around, and that's where we'll get some additional showers in that extended forecast. You can see that right here on Futurecast as we walk through those overnight hours, as those chances linger into the 7, 8, and 9 o'clock hour. Not overly high, and that low will sit right there towards the Huntsville area into those overnight hours. So it's not impossible to get a few showers developing there towards northwest Alabama for our Friday morning, but it's not exactly exactly going to be impactful rainfall. See that developing right there from Aniana to Huntsville. Basically, that's around the Jasper area, I believe, over there towards Alabama. Got to pull out my roots on that one. But 9 a.m., those become a little bit more widespread. It's just a matter of how much moisture is wrapping around and how strong is that upper level low for our rain chances on our Friday. Not expecting anything too impactful though. As you can see, rain chances gone in our forecast in the next 24, 63 degrees by 6, 78 by noon, and we're only climbing 80 degrees for your Friday afternoon. Anything to complain about? Not with this forecast. And it's definitely something that we're excited about heading into our Friday night football games and our college football games, 2 local ones here in North Mississippi. So if you have no plans Saturday, there's your plans. Go buy those tickets today and go see a great game between the Bulldogs and Ole Miss Rebels. But I do want to say with those games, we're tracking those game day forecasts here coming up in the next 60. We're also taking a look at the tropics coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 6, a forecast you're going to want to stay tuned for because we could see impacts here in the United States. We'll track that in full detail live from the Room to Room Weather Center in the next minute.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, as the showers pass, more Weather Watcher pictures are submitted to us, and this one was from Betty in Aberdeen, showcasing a beautiful rainbow on the backside of those showers. As you can see, the decent downpour in the distance, but here over Betty's house, beautiful sunshine. I know those flowers are appreciating all of this rainfall because over at the Maynor household, they're not exactly looking too good. I've been doing my part. I've been watering, but even that, just not enough with how dry those conditions have been. Getting a look there in Winona as a few of those showers trying to work their way through. You can see some of those decent cloud tops reaching a little bit higher in the atmosphere than others, but a large part of those not exactly going to be impactful in regards to rainfall. So it's really the story of the drier conditions pushing in and the cooler weather pushing in that we're going to get to enjoy in that extended forecast. Tupelo, this is looking northwest, and as you can see, we're right on the tail end of a few of those showers. That one there towards Saltillo and Guntown that we are watching and looking like a decent output of rainfall right there, but nothing strong, nothing severe, probably not even a rumble of thunder with that cell if I were to guess looking at it from here. But 79 degrees right now, and I do see that sunshine there in the distance. Something to smile about as we head into that weekend forecast because it is going to give us beautiful, dry, and cool weather. Anything to complain about? I mean, I just can't believe that this is our forecast for our weekend, timing out just right. 77 degrees for Aberdeen, and that blue sky already showing off. And keep in mind that Betty submitted that picture in Aberdeen, so they got a decent rainfall earlier today, but that cleared on out and made way for a fantastic evening over there. So Mississippi Live Weather Radar, where we stand right now is those showers progressing across the Alabama state line and really at this point well outside of our viewing area, talking about the east side of Marion County and the east side of Franklin County. A few of those, I'll call them storms because they are actually producing lightning, but if I'll move my head, 6 strikes. Not exactly your strong thunderstorm, but at least giving some decent rainfall outputs. I want to look real quick at that 3-hour rainfall. And yeah, a few of those showcasing about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Looking right there, 3/4 of an inch towards Bear Creek. Same thing around Hackleburg, and probably same thing around Hamilton and Pleasant Ridge. Just about a 1/2 inch right there. Oh, I realized. There you go. Now you can see it. So clearing this off, let's get back on our radar here real quick. We'll track out a few of those showers. This one, of course, moving outside of our viewing area, but we're going to do an entire line encompassing this. And if I put a loop on this, we can definitely see that this is still moving about 20 to maybe 25 miles an hour. So I'm going to put it on that latest scan and drag this out. And again, moving about 20 miles an hour or so. And I'm going to have a few little oddities on there in regards to its its makeup of the storms. So as you can see that jutting out right there, that's what I'm mentioning. So it's kind of an odd track, but we'll track it anyway. You're seeing Forkville 616, Cortland 625, Mount Hope 627, Concord 633. And if we look in more detail at a few of those higher populated cities, we're going to look at North Cortland 622, Cortland 625, Hillsboro 646, and Moulton 658. So folks out there just getting a decent rainfall, but fortunately for us, drier conditions moving in right on time for our football games. We tracked those two cells earlier on there towards Lee County and that other one down around Webster County. Looking at the bigger picture, I mean, really not anything too much happening on our Mississippi Live Weather radar. We'd have to go to our national composite to see that action, a lot of it out there towards southeast Alabama, into Georgia, into Athens. So folks heading to the Alabama game, getting an early start. Unfortunately, you'll probably be dealing with some isolated showers on that commute or even for your game time Saturday. That's how long that front will linger. And you do see a few severe thunderstorm warnings there around South Carolina and North Carolina. So definitely going to be more of an active pattern than what we're getting here in Mississippi is we're having a hard time finding even thunderstorms. So just going to be that beneficial rainfall where we don't have to have any worries with it for our afternoon, except for having an umbrella on standby. So let's take it through that forecast into our overnight hours. And as you can see on Futurecast, that front right there behind me trying to move its way out of the area and carry with it a lot of that moisture and a lot of our rain chances. So I'm going to stand on this side of your screen because you can see the progression of that front a little easier and how that upper level low forms and wraps around some of that moisture. Now where that moisture forms, we were talking yesterday evening about the potential for it moving along the Alabama state line, and that potential still is in place. But what we've noticed on recent model runs is a lot of those chances are further out there towards northwest Alabama rather than northeast Mississippi. Fortunate for any of those games that are happening in Monroe County, Itawamba, and Tishomingo County, because as you can see, those rain chances looking like it's around the Jasper area as we get into our early morning commute. Low temperatures though, this is the story that we're all going to be noticing tomorrow morning. Low 60s across the region, a few mid 60s where that moisture is still sticking around, but even then, we were at 68, 69, 70 degrees this morning. Don't complain about this forecast. We are fortunate to receive it and fortunate to finally get in that fall pattern. So your school day forecast, 62 around drop-off, 75 by lunch, and that last bell, yeah, it will even be cooler towards the afternoon, only reaching the low 80s with plenty of sunshine all day long. So make plans to get outside and make plans to go see your local football team play. As we take Futurecast into your Friday, walking through those rain chances, there's what I'm talking about, that very light shower that develops across Lamar and Pickens County in Alabama. That's that wraparound moisture that we're seeing. So it's not exactly going to see the steady progression across the area, and it's not exactly going to provide impactful rainfall. A lot of that wraparound moisture is similar to what we saw today with a few sprinkles, maybe a drizzle, and that's really the extent of it. So that's what we'll be getting into our Friday, especially down there towards Pickens County and really more into Birmingham as those rain chances reside over there. Here in North Mississippi, we keep with those dry conditions. As you can see, that northerly wind dominating our forecast. It'll be a gusty forecast for your Friday, blowing in those drier and cooler conditions. 3 o'clock wrapping up the day. If you're over there towards Gordo or Reform, unfortunately might have a few light showers, but not going to be impactful like what we saw yesterday. 6 p.m. still seeing those dry conditions stick around. So that's going to be a good forecast, a good dry forecast for all of North Mississippi on your Friday. High temperatures, 79 Holly Springs, 79 Boonville, Red Bay, 80 Hamilton, 82 Vernon, and 82 around Kosciuszko. This is just going to be a fall forecast that you've been waiting on for sure. So our high school game of the week, sponsored by Casey Lott. We will be over in Tupelo watching the Battle of the Waves, and we'll take a look live from West Point, or should I say a look in West Point from Matt Lopon. He was there earlier on today, and he got to talk with the kids about the game, and they're showing their excitement. So it's a live look in, or not a live, it's a look in, but something we'll get to enjoy as well, because this is going to be a huge game. Battle of the Undefeateds too. But if you're looking to get out for any of your local high school games, 78 around pregame, 72 halftime, and 66 by that final snap. Should be a great game with great highlights, and we're excited to see highlights like what we got in South Pontotoc last week. But keep Futurecast going, and you can see those dry conditions and clear conditions continue to stick around for our Friday evening and for our Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, I know a lot of us have a busy weekend ahead. Try not to just rest inside the whole weekend. I know it's what we want to do, but with the forecast as ideal as this, we need to get out and enjoy it. Go to the park, have a picnic, take the dogs on a walk. It's not going to be awful on the ground for them, so their paw's not going to get burned or anything like that. So it's good for them too. And if they're like my dogs, they need a good walk. So we're probably going to take them on a walk this weekend. And then if you're looking to head out to those games, I mean, this is about 10, 11 a.m. as we get out to go enjoy those tailgates pregame. We're still seeing those dry conditions stick around. And as we get into actual game time, 2, 3 o'clock, as our Bulldogs and Rebels kick off around the same time frame, still getting that northerly wind dominating our forecast. So it should be a fantastic forecast, not overbearing with the heat, and you won't be absolutely miserable the entire time, no matter where you sit on the stands. You just might see more sunshine on one side rather than the other. But if those games go long, 9 p.m. or for those post-game celebrations, still seeing those dry conditions stick around. So don't worry, any plans on your Saturday going to be ideal to get them out and about while we have these great conditions sticking around. High temperatures, as you can see, 84 Cleveland, 86 Greenville, 86 Greenwood, and 85 around Grenada. This is going to be a degree or two warmer than what we'll have on our Friday, but still right around our seasonable average. No complaints from us here at Mississippi Live Weather. As I mentioned, LSU taking on Ole Miss at 2:30 on your Saturday, so it's going to be mid-afternoon, but temperature-wise, not going to be bad whatsoever. 80 degrees around first play, 82 halftime, and 77 towards that final snap. Post-game celebration in the square should be good, and I said post-game celebration. Rebels, take care of business. I don't want to be wrong on that claim. Tennessee taking on Mississippi State, and I will say this as a bold Mississippi State fan, I think we got it. I think we can pull it off. There's no doubt that the Bulldogs have the potential. I'm interested to see what Cole Myers Corner says tomorrow. But I think he'll agree with me. I'm nudging you right now to try and sway you a little bit. 82 first play, 81 halftime, and 72 towards that final snap. So even down there in Stark Vegas, looking like we'll have comfortable conditions. But there's one location that's not exactly going to be as ideal as others, and that's over in Athens, Georgia. Battle of a fantastic game. SEC rivals for a long time and usually the top of the SEC standings. That's Alabama versus Georgia taking on each other at a night game in Athens at the Dog Pound, 6:30 Saturday, 76 degrees first play. Wrapping it up in the mid-60s though. That's going to be a good forecast. Very cool. I mean, you might need the long sleeves by then if you're heading out in Athens or anywhere in Georgia for that matter. Chances of an isolated shower still sticking around, and you notice we're going east to the game. Well, that's where the front is, so you're traveling with the front where those rain chances reside. So unfortunately, you take those chances. 62 around 7, 78 by noon, and 82 towards our afternoon forecast. So it is going to be warming up, but not anything like what we've had here recently. It seems like summer has phased on out, and we're starting to enjoy a little bit more of that fall season. This weekend stays dry, stays clear, and low temperatures get into the upper 50s. So that's what I mean. Long sleeves might be allowed for the start of our days. And then early next week, temperatures do warm up, but only into the mid to upper 80s. So it's still a comfortable forecast, not exactly going to be overwhelming or overbearing. You can make it. 87 degrees is not too shabby. Looking at the comments here, I'd see that a lot of folks are excited for the game, saying West Point, saying Tupelo. It's going to be a battle of the ways, and it's going to be a battle on the football field. Excited to get out there for the community-wide tailgate, too. So we're just counting down here in about 24 hours. We'll be right there in the heart of a heated matchup. But we do have more heated information coming in from the Room to Room Weather Center. That's when it comes to the tropics. And we'll be looking at some of those long-range models and how some of those tropical developments might impact our forecast here in the Southeast. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 6 in the next minute.
A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
Scary that it can be put into anything, and we can't even see it or notice it.
Get ready for a night of inspiration, laughter, and support. Join us on Saturday, October 4th at 6 p.m. at the Tupelo Cotton Mill, where outstanding men from our community will walk in her shoes. You'll hear powerful stories from survivors and caregivers, enjoy delicious food and drinks, and experience live entertainment in an evening filled with fellowship, fun, and hope. All proceeds go to support those bravely fighting cancer. This event is powered by Wear It Well.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back into the Room to Room Weather Center for Mississippi Live Weather at 6. You're getting a live look in the tropics right now where a development is taking place. And I will say these are all tropical waves that we are watching, but this isn't the only wave action that we will have. Battle of the Waves happening Friday night. Let's get a look at what Matt was seeing over there in West Point earlier this evening as West Point's gearing up for an action-packed Friday night. So here was Matt getting to meet with the school, head over there, and the girls doing their cheers, getting the crowd amped and excited for Friday night, taking on the Tupelo Golden Wave. Here you can see the fans in the crowd dressed in their suspenders and excited to have Matt there talking to them about the weather. Yes, they did talk about weather on top of all of the excitement. So just an exciting time over there. If you missed it, well, don't worry, you'll be able to see them in action as we get into our Friday night game of the week forecast, or game of the week. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, sweet. Shout out my wife for letting me know that my mic was off. So we're gonna go back for a second. So what we're taking a look at there in the mid-Atlantic, it is tropical storm or Hurricane Humberto starting to develop into more of a hurricane as it has a lot of that moisture there to the south that's starting to build into the storm and become a little bit more organized there in the mid-Atlantic. But as you can see behind my head, Hurricane Gabrielle is continuing to, okay, I'm still getting a call. I think we're good now. I think we're live. Okay, I think we're good. So Hurricane Gabrielle, or should I say post-tropical cyclone as at this point, Gabrielle, dissolving over there in the northern Atlantic, and that'll continue to dissolve on out, not become impactful. And of course, we are going to keep eyes on it. But again, it's moving east away from the United States. But Humberto is an interesting storm that we're paying attention to. But that's the development we're really paying a lot of attention to as it heads more north along the Atlantic coast, and some cases inside the coastal region. So let's take a look at post-tropical cyclone Gabrielle. That 4 o'clock advisory, 70 miles an hour on those winds, 983 millibar pressure center level. So that's just continuing to dissolve right now at 70 miles an hour. The earlier advisory about 10 a.m. is 100 miles an hour. So this is dissolving quickly as that is expected to drop down into a tropical storm come Friday afternoon, and then fully dissolving into a tropical depression once it moves into that Spain area. But this is just an insane track. You can see starting about where Humberto is right now and then going up the Atlantic coast before moving northeast all the way into the European region. So I always love looking after the storm got over the exact path that it went on, because this is just insane, the amount of miles that this must have traveled. But let's get into tropical storm Humberto. Thursday evening, 60 miles an hour, 1,000 millibar pressure center level. That is already building into your Friday morning at 70 miles an hour, and that's where it'll continue to strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane as we move more into that Friday afternoon and Saturday morning threshold. But this builds quick. I mean, we're talking Category 2 development Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning Category 3, and the potential to become even stronger beyond that point into 120 miles an hour by Monday afternoon, not too far away from Category 4 strength. So that's going to be a storm that we need to pay attention to, but as you saw, moving up the Atlantic coast far out to sea and then transitioning more north-northeast. So that's not the immediate impacts we're watching. Let's look at the latest disturbance. So this one right around those coastal regions there towards Cuba, and that's going to have about 80% chance of development over the next 2 days, 90% over the next 7, and transitioning right up the Atlantic coast. But where it goes, That's the question. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of our long-range models right here. As you can see, there's your tropical development, still that disturbance number 1, and there's Umberto behind it. Umberto, very impressive, and that'll continue to be one to watch for, but it's not going to be impressive for us here in the U.S. As you can see, it continues to build in strength, but not a fast mover whatsoever. Well, you have 2 developments happening at the same time, and that's going to battle each other for the energy. This is the battle of the waves right here. Battle of the waves happening Friday night. Battle of the Waves happening Saturday night, as you can see with Umberto, and I got to look up the latest name, but it's just ironic. We get Battle of the Waves, and we're getting Battle of the Waves in the middle of the Atlantic as well. So pay attention to that leading one, and the name we'll look at here in a second. I got to do my research here behind the scenes. But as we carry that into our Sunday evening, you can see how Umberto kind of takes that northwesterly track, but that tropical system starts to build more into the Carolinas, and we could see making landfall as we get into our Monday afternoon, should I say. So there's a look, Monday morning into your Monday evening, 6 p.m., we're talking about strong wind gusts, 100 plus miles an hour at the heart of this storm. So it could build into a Category 1 hurricane before making landfall. But this is a very short-range model run, yet this is kind of flipped from where it was at even 24 hours ago now. So the track's still something that I need to see to believe in order for that to make 100% certain. But the fact that we have it making landfall 5 days away is something we need to pay attention to, because that's not one of those 2-week time frames where it likes to get a little ambitious and throw a tropical storm in the middle of the United States. No, this is a 5-day outlook reaching all the way into the Carolinas. So paying attention to that, but paying attention to Umberto as well. Umberto trying to get close, but we have that turning more north-northeast, but that other storm kind of residing right over the top of the Carolinas and Georgia. And then by Tuesday afternoon, a few of those showers could wrap around there into North Mississippi. That's where our forecast could change towards midweek next week, with isolated showers moving back into the forecast. So even though this is making landfall out in the Atlantic, it could still have impacts for us here in North Mississippi. So we're hopeful that that's not the case. I know we want rainfall here, but we don't want a hurricane to make landfall in the Carolinas. We would like it to be more of a uniform distribution of moderate showers, but and probably won't be the case. We'll pay attention to this behind the scenes though, but I felt the need to show you guys that this is what's happening, and we need to make sure to keep our eyes in the tropics as we head into that extended forecast. Okay, so we are wrapping it up for Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I think I've talked your ears off enough, but we thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to have latest model outlooks for our Friday night football forecast and our Saturday football forecast coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. We're excited to see you guys there, and of course you can download the app to stay as informed as possible. And that is free and available on iOS and Android, as you can see right here. So let me pull this up. Yeah, free and available, as you can see right there at the bottom of your screen, iOS and Android, to get the very latest on that today. And make sure to update it if you do have it, because latest updates are coming out and it makes it more user-friendly, even more user-friendly than it was before. But our next broadcast happening tonight at 10, so make sure to keep it here at Mississippi Live Weather for the very latest, and we'll see you back here very shortly. Have a great evening. Enjoy those last remaining showers, because it looks like a very dry forecast moving in place. We'll see the very latest at 10. Have a great evening. Until then.
At Room to Room, did you know our specialty is custom ordered upholstery? Get the furniture you want and the fabric and color selection you want. With our free design service, we won't let you make a mistake.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.